Welcome back, team, for session 2. So we're going to start with the same warm-up. So you're going to perform 2 minutes of jump rope, then complete 2 rounds of 30 seconds of walking lunges and 30 seconds of skips. After that second round, complete 10 animal squats, 10 drop squats, 10 push-ups, and 5 rainbow rolls left and right. I'm going to demo those exercises after this, or feel free to skip ahead to the workout demo. Jump rope. The exercise looks like this. So obviously I don't have a jump rope because you guys may be doing this at home, so you may not have a jump rope. But the main benefit of this exercise is total body integration, high metabolic demand. And like I said, you don't have to have a jump rope to do this one. So you can pretend you're holding your jump rope out by your side and pretending that that invisible rope is going under the feet, over the head, under the feet, and over the head. So you're going to be jumping up and allowing that one rotation. So every time you jump up is one repetition for this exercise. The way you can progress, regress this is the speed. You can just do it slow or speed it up. Also, common faults, landing too heavy, so you want to make sure you want to stay nice and tall, landing nice and soft, and continuing the exercise. So that is the jump rope. Walking lunge, the exercise looks like this. So for the walking lunge, may benefit total body integration, high metabolic demand, as well as hip stability. So you're going to be facing your path of travel, stepping out, bringing those knees down towards the floor, standing up nice and tall, alternating legs. So for this one, the actual workout calls for 25 meters. I know not everyone knows how to measure or knows where 25 meters is in their house. So if you want, just do 25 lunges or 26 to make it even, because I know some of those tribers have our even numbers. Or you can measure whichever one, but today for the warm-up, we're just doing it for 30 seconds. So for this one, you can progress, regress this by the range or in your lunge, as well as speed, so you can speed it up or slow it down. Also, you want to make sure that you keep your hips aligned, no shifting in the hips, also making sure that knee does not go past that front toe, staying up nice and tall. That's the walking lunge. Exercise looks like this. So, for the skips, it is a movement preparation exercise. So you're going to be facing your path of travel. For this, it's going to be incorporating timing. So what you're going to be doing is lifting up that front knee, bringing up that opposite arm, and then alternating. So you're going to be alternating down the path of travel. You can start it out with a walk. As you get to it, you can add that hop, and then you can speed it up to progress it, or regress it. You can slow it back down, no worries. You want to make sure that you have a nice tall spine, shoulders away from the ears, standing up nice and tall as you perform this exercise. Like I mentioned, you can progress, regress this by the speed, as well as the range, so how high you bring up the knee, if you're keeping it low, or you can add another range to it. So that is the skips. Animal squats exercise looks like this. Breaking out that tap. So for the animal squat, main benefit, total body integration, high metabolic demand, as well as hip mobility, also strengthening through that anterior core. You're going to start out in that strong, nice plank position. You're then going to be sitting back in those hips, and you can tap back to the foot, ankle, calf, or even the knee, whichever range you can, and sit back, go back to that plank position, and then sit back once again. Every time your hips go back and forward, it's just one rep, so don't worry about those hand counts. Just every time you sit back into that animal squat, that's one repetition count. The way you can progress and regress this is that range, timing, as well as you don't necessarily always have, if you don't feel comfortable bringing that arm up and tapping back, just doing without those arms is good as well. So for the drop squat, main benefit, total body integration, high metabolic demand, as well as hip mobility and stability. So you're going to start in that tribe ready stance, and you're nice and tall. You're going to be jumping your feet out to about hip distance apart, going down to that squat position, jumping back up to that start position. So every time you jump your feet out into that squat and in is one repetition. You can progress, regress this by the speed as well as the range. You just want to make sure that you're sitting back in those hips, making sure that your knees aren't kind of coming in. You want to make sure you're in that good squat pattern when you go into that squat. Staying nice and tall, shoulders away from the ears, and then jumping up to that start position. That is the drop squat, the push-up. So for the push-up, main benefit is strengthening through that anterior core, as well as shoulder stability and mobility. So once again, we're going to start in that plank position. Bending out the elbows, bring the chest down, and pushing up, back to that start position. Every time you do a push-up, it is one repetition. The way you can progress, regress this is first by load. So you can go down to that push-up position, bring the knees, and then push up and restart. Or if you need to, you can simply start at the knees, Also, I noticed that some of you guys are doing it in your house. If you need to, since we don't have boxes, you can utilize like the side of your couch. Make sure just one side is maybe held up by a wall so you're not slipping the couch or whatnot. Definitely dread that. Or like a coffee table that's in a sturdy area, you can definitely work on doing push-ups. Coffee table as well as a counter. You can do a countertop as well to help progress or regress that exercise for the push-up. And that is the push-up. Rainbow rolls. So for the rainbow rolls, main benefit is shoulder and thoracic mobility. So for this exercise, you're gonna have your knees at 90-degree angle. You're gonna be laying on your side, have your arms on top of each other. Then you're gonna bring that top arm allowed to sweep across the floor and then come back to that start position. So for this one, you can progress and regress this one by the range. Your goal is to try to have your fingertips sweep across the floor. If you can't reach that far, that's completely fine as well. And then for this one, everything you do on your left, you must do on your right. So then I would flip to the opposite side once I finish that one. So that is the rainbow roll. Okay, for the workout today, the main objective is to continue our training focus of developing stability, mobility, relative strength, and stamina. So for the formula, we're going to have 3 stations that are going to be completed 4 times each. For station 1, you're going to perform each exercise listed from top to bottom 4 times, and then you'll advance to station 2. For station 2 and 3, they share the same formula as station 1, using different exercises and reps. Record your time as you complete the formula. There's a 30-minute time limit on this formula, and if you don't complete within 30 minutes, that's okay. Give yourself a time score of 30 minutes. If you notice, there's an exercise that requires dumbbells for the dumbbell swings. However, feel free if you don't have dumbbells, maybe fill water bottles up, or you can fill it up with sand. And don't worry if it's not too heavy, because the main goal for this is to balance the stress on the body and ensure we are activating all muscle groups. So let's look at the 3 new exercises. Dumbbell swings. So main benefit for the dumbbell swing is going to be that hip mobility and stability. You're also strengthening through your posterior chain as well as your shoulders. So you're going to be in that tri-bretta stance, sitting up nice and tall. You're then going to hinge back in those hips, using them as the momentum from your glutes, squeezing up to bring those dumbbells up to about chest height. So sit back and bring those dumbbells up, staying nice and tall, keeping that core nice and engaged. Common faults, you want to make sure that you're hinging for the hips. Some people may try to start with a squat to hinge, or to swing. You want to make sure you hinge from the hips, shoulders down away from the ears. Every time you swing is 1, so start position. And the way you can progress and regress this is by the load of your dumbbells. If you're at home, you can use cans as a dumbbell. Different things like you can find different things to use, but be safe about it as well if you don't have dumbbells at home. And that's the dumbbell swings. Plyo lunges. So main benefit of plyometric lunge is going to be toe body integration, high metabolic demand, as well as hip stability. So you're going to start in that split stance. Make sure that knee's not over that toe. You're then going to bring yourself up, switching your legs to the opposite leg in front. Make sure you have nice control. That's a common thought, so keeping nice control. And then switching to the opposite side. When you do right and left, that equals 1 repetition. For this, some progression, regression is speed. So you can slow down that plyo lunge as well as range, what your range is in that lunge position. And you can switch off if you need to lower the impact. You can step and switch. Same thing, speed it up or add or lessen the range for that progression regression. Common thoughts, make sure that you want to keep your hips facing forward, not letting them sit back, as well as spinal flexion. So you want to make sure you sit nice and tall, not leaning over in that lunge. And that is the plyometric lunge. Push-ups. So, main benefit for the animal push-up is strengthening through that interior core as well as shoulder, hip stability, and mobility. So you're going to start in that nice, strong plank position. You can have your feet a little bit wider because we're going to go into that animal squat first. You're going to be sitting back in those hips. Then you're going to be coming forward to that plank position to start 1 push-up. And then you're going to go back to that animal squat. So every time you squat, push-up is 1 repetition. For this, the way you can progress and regress this exercise is 1 through load. So you can squat back in those hips, push up, come to the knees, and come back up, or simply do them on the knees and go back to that position. Range, so you might not have as good of range in this animal squat position, so range, as well as speed, so how quickly you're doing that animal squat. For this, you want to make sure some common faults. You want to make sure, especially in the push-up, that you're not piking those hips up or letting them sag down, shoulders away from the ears, core nice and tight. That is the animal push-up. Okay, now that we know those new exercises in red, we can begin the workout. If you have any questions about any exercises listed, feel free to refer to the past video. And also remember, as you're doing this workout, if you feel that you have a common fault occurring, just stop, reposition yourself, and start back again. Okay, and 3, 2, 1, go!